Everybody, I got the ancient weapons done, and this is the second time of me trying to record this because I recorded it and the camera was cloudy, and yeah, kind of blew. I was like, fuck, and then I thought about it and I wiped down the camera. I was like, oh yeah, that looks a lot better, and yeah, I just figured I'll just redo the video real quick. Also, funny story, I found the sword. Here and got it done, but then I lost the Jade Dragon machete. I have no idea where I put it, and honestly, I'm pissed off at myself because this fucking thing was sitting right over on my workbench, just blending in with everything else. I tell you guys, I am my own worst enemy. Seriously. Good lord, I mean, I gotta get my shit together. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm slowly organizing this room, but, it's taking me a minute. Anyways, on to the weapons. So, here we have the sawfish skull blade of some sort. It's pretty much just, it's like the most simple, or like the most simplistic out of the, just my light here. There we go. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm telling you guys, it's friggin' ridiculous, like how flimsy everything is around here. There. For fuck's sake, stay there. So anyways, fuck, I'm telling you guys, like it's unbelievable. So yeah, you got the sawfish blade here, which is pretty much just a shriveled up sawfish head on a stick. Some sort of maybe piece of bone with like pine tar attached to it to help harden the the creature together. And then like kind of like a more natural type of glue or paste that some creature mixed together to use this as a weapon. As to how effective of a weapon it is, I'm not really sure. Just I mean, it's just a kind of a sawfish skull on a stick. I mean, it would hurt like a bitch if it whacked into something, but I mean, in terms of killing, I mean, it wouldn't be the most effective weapon. More of just something to keep the beasts at bay, if you would say. Then afterwards, I have the bone scythe, which turned out decently. I clear coated these yesterday, and I used a different kind of clear coat than what I normally use, so some of the detail on them is a little faded, except for this one, because it didn't have much detail to begin with. It just, it's a femur bone that has a little bit of that pine tar type substance in the middle, and it holds a sharp metal, I guess, blade piece, which I'm not really sure. It could have been flint knapped to be into that sort of shape, or however way it got there. As to what created this, maybe an ancient hominid, a Kong, some other creature kind of just put this quickly together and used it as some sort of tool. Maybe like a butchering tool, help cut meat off a carcass, or simple defense, or I don't know, maybe for some of the more agile beasts, like a weapon to help kill prey. Who knows? Next we got the Hambra spear, which is apparently stuck to the, it was glued over to the, the thing though. So here we have the Hambra spear, and pretty much the idea for this was just, it's a bone with some metal bits, some metal shards sticking out of it everywhere, just to kind of help, you could swing it to the side and it could cut something, or you could just thrust it into a prey or an opponent of some sort. You have little bone shards sticking out the top here. Now this was inspired by the Skull Island spears, like the spears you see in Peter Jackson's King Kong the game, which I never played. I always wanted to play that game, but I never really had the opportunity. I mean, I'm not really much of a gamer anyway, but it would have been fun. As you guys can see, like most of the weapons here are usually like the Playmates Kong battle axes, but fixed up a little bit. And this was a painted xenomorph tip of its tail. But yeah, so yeah, you got some dried sinew and flesh, along with some sort of plant wrapping holding the metal and bone pieces together, mixed with a little bit of that same kind of pine tar, along with some metal shards here and some sort of feather-like piece. As for who made this, who knows? Some sort of hunter. I mean, well, clearly a hunter, but I'm saying some sort of ancient hunter. Like, I'm not really sure. Origins on some of these weapons is a little funky. But, they're here. So, yep, there's the Humbra spear, which I do like it quite a bit. And it sucks, man, because it's like the only weapons that Kong can physically hold out of these bunches are the Shikarine spike club and the sword over there, which I'll talk about in a minute. Speaking of which, the club here, we have the Shikarine spike club, which is actually made by Kong in the stories that I'm playing. And pretty much, you see him sitting... Don't you fucking dare. Fucking light wanting to fall over. You pretty much see him at the basis of a cave, which I'd have to find some hole in the ground. And and you see Kong dip his hands into a bloody carcass, like some sort of animal that he killed. And you see him, with blood-covered fingers, write all these sorts of symbols on his club. Pretty much implying that he created this club. And, once he's done, you see him look over his work. He kind of celebrates a little bit, and some creature tries to attack him at the mouth of his cave, and they battle it out. And that's pretty much the backstory for this one. Picture story-wise, which is cool, because, that's the only weapon actually made by a Kong of any sort. The rest of these weapons are kind of just either in the dark or made by something else. That's the Shikarine spike club. Looks decent. Next we have the Narakazul battle axe. Now, this one looks pretty decent. I like, even after the clear coat took away some of the detail, especially in the blade here. Honestly, it still looks pretty decent. I like it. Again, it's sort of a more bone-based weapon. Similar to the Humbra spear. And it's pretty much like a wrapping of some sort of kelp-like plant and the sinews and intestines of an animal, dried and hardened to hold a lot of the more loose stuff together with a bone needle and another piece of bone to kind of tie it all together. Here we have the metal-encoded skull of a critter of some kind, maybe some ancient mammal, who knows. And the blade here is some different type of metal, which it's blackish in color with some white spots in it. It's almost similar to like the Blood of Oros rock from Far Cry Primal. Could have been a similar rock, who knows. You got kind of like a various coloration of the bone, dried blood, and just age from cracking. All around looks decent. There's some glow-in-the-dark paint in there, because I was hoping when the light would hit this weapon, it would shine. And I was thinking that'd be pretty cool, So yeah, that's the Narakazul battle axe. Now, frankly, I have no idea where its origins are. I mean, you could say, like, Dinosaur Men made it, which Dinosaur Men will be making an appearance in my picture stories at some point in the future. I also have the Quintaglios, which will show up, but they are a different race of Dinosaur Men. Like, the Dinosaur Men I'm talking about are more like fantasy style, while Quintaglios are more speculative evolution. Either way, there will be man dinosaurs in my stories at one point or another. And I imagine there could be a big one that carries this weapon around, or this weapon here. And, maybe Kong or a troll gets into the fight, or gets into a fight with them, and they end up taking a few of these weapons, or whatever happens, I'm not really sure. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so let me see. I covered all them. Right. Here we have the Glacier Tri-Sword. Now, it's called a Tri-Sword because of the 3 points, and originally I was going to call it the Glacier Fork Sword, but that don't really sound as cool. And this was the one I was talking about, which I couldn't decide if it was a halberd or a sword, which clearly now looking at it, it's very obviously a sword. A halberd is a very different weapon. I wasn't sure at the time because I'm not an expert. It has a little spike here at the tip, which there's a little bit of broken paint right there, but that's okay. And it's funny because this actually originally started off as like a pitchfork because I made a demon figure, which I remember seeing the movie called Iramentari, the Blacksmith and the Devil, and I really wanted something that looked like that. And that's where this started off as, and then over time I didn't like how the figurine looked, so I dismantled it for parts and took the what is it called? The pitchfork, and I crafted this long blade on there, which kind of has a weird curve to it, but that's fine. I mean, you still swing it at the right angle and it would fuck somebody up. As for its origins, I don't really know. Maybe like an ancient advanced civilization made this sword, and then just kind of it got lost over time and somebody found it. Originally this was going to be rusted out and looked a lot more old, but then I figured it wouldn't be an effective blade, so I just made this sort of glacier shape, just a natural part of the blade. I don't know, maybe somebody was artistic when making the thing, who knows. And then you got this sort of like kind of gold piece that I'm assuming would hang over some sort of hilt or some sort of like wrapping. As the person would walk by, it would hang on to them. And there's the Glacier Tri-Sword. I'm excited to use this one in a story. As for the last, but certainly not the least, and probably one of my favorites out of them is this one. The Borhagin Titan Slayer. I love this thing. This thing is fucking awesome looking. I mean, you could tell that this one was clearly like a lot of battle axes kind of glued together with a blade here and another blade here and like a more stabby kind of blade at the front with huge blades at the end. It kind of reminds me of the double-bladed axe that I use when fallen trees are in my area. I use that to chop them up, and it kind of reminds me of that. And then it has a fucking Brontothir skull attached to the end here. I was thinking, like, I don't know, in terms of that, who knows? Like, whoever made this maybe originally used it to hunt a Brontothir and couldn't get the blade part unstuck out of the skull, so they just kind of worked on the weapon a bit more and incorporated the whole skull into the weapon. I'm not really sure. And you got some kind of moss-like substance growing on the bottom here, along with like old kind of wear patterns on the skull and dried blood. So it works as a bludgeon, and it's pretty much an all-purpose weapon. I mean, something would have to be massive in order to wield this. And I figured, like, I don't know, maybe in a later on King Kong story, I could have King Kong fighting some sort of beast, like some sort of large beast that has this in its possession, and he takes it from them, if he wins the fight. And it was funny, I showed this to my mom, and she turned it around, she said, what is this, a nutsack? Because looking at it upside down, yeah, the Brontothir horn does look like a bit like a scrotum, and that's fucking hilarious. That is funny shit, especially with the old dried blood. It looks all veiny and shit. And that's funnier than hell. the one fucking time I didn't make something like that on purpose. That's funny shit, man. That is hilarious. But yeah. I'd have to say this is definitely one of my more preferred weapons that I made. Like, honestly, in terms of how I rate them, I think they're all pretty good. Like, except for like, I don't really care for this one here, like the sawfish blade. I could live without that one. The bone scythe's all right. I like the sword. That one's cool. Uh, axe is cool. Spear's cool. Club's cool. I fucking love this thing. Whatever the fuck you would even categorize this thing as. I mean, thing is awesome. Yeah. I guess I'll give you a quick rundown of everything here, Just give you guys a quick look around. Yeah. And it sucks that I can't find the Jade Dragon machete because I was excited for that one. If I find it at some point just laying around when I misplaced it, I'll do a video on it solely. I mean, I'll be making more ancient weapons, so I might do a sequel to this. Who knows? Man. Ah, yes. And, yeah, my final verdict. Fuck yeah.